guys, so today we're working on solving equations by factoring. And you will see that I have written here the zero product property, and you learned this back, way back, 5th, 4th grade, whatever, about anything times 0 equals 0. And we're going to use that property today, so that here if you see A times B equals 0, then that means either A has to be 0 or B has to be 0. But one of those factors has to be 0 to get the answer 0 at the end. So 5 times 0 is 0, or 0 times 10 is 0. Okay, so keeping that in mind, when we look at this and it asks us to solve it, and we see that it is set equal to 0, then that means either x plus 2 would have to equal 0, or x minus 5 has to equal 0, because those are the two factors. You have x plus 2 times x minus 5. So one of those groups of parentheses has to equal 0. So set them both equal to 0 and solve. How x plus 2 equals 0, then that would mean x is equal to negative 2. Or x minus 5 is 0 would mean x is equal to 5. And that would be my answer. So if x was negative 2, if you plugged it back in here, well, negative 2 plus 2 equals 0. If you plugged 5 back in over here, you would have 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. So either way, it gives you the solution set of negative 2 and 5. That would be your answer. I know y'all like writing those little braces there, so practice, practice. Alright, here you have three factors. You have 5n, you have n minus 3, you have n minus 4. Well, one of those has to equal 0. It can be more than one, but it has to be at least one. You have to take each one and set it equal to 0 and solve. So here you'd end up dividing by 5, and 0 divided by 5 is still going to be 0. Or here you would get n equals 3, and here you would get n equals 4. So this time we have three possible answers. If n equals 0, or n equals 3, or n equals 4, we would get 0 because one of those factors would turn into 0. Alright. Now, this looks more like what we have been working on. You have a quadratic equation. The only difference is now it is set equal to 0. So before you were having to factor it, and that's what we're going to start with here. Factor it, x squared plus x minus 12, but now set it equal to 0. Alright, so x and x, and I'm going to guess 4 and 3 to get to that 1 in the middle, and then the 4 would need to be positive so that I have a positive x in the middle. 4x minus 3x would give me x. Okay, and now you need to finish it. So we would have x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 3 would have to equal 0. Solve this side. That means x is negative 4, x is 3. So your solution set would be negative 4, 3. Now, what you'll learn when you get into high school is this will help you actually in geometry. When you get into geometry and you will be graphing different types of things, this is not the equation of a line. Remember, the equation of a line only has a degree of 1. This has a degree of 2. It's called a parabola, and just so you know what you just found, you found the zeros. You found where this graph is going to cross on the x-axis. X equals negative 4 and x equals 3 is where it's going to cross. Now what you don't know is how to graph it, and actually what it ends up being is this little thing that goes way down here and back up. And it crosses that x-axis at the zeros that you found, the -4 and the 3. But that's just for informations, just to show you kind of what you'll be getting into some when you get over into Algebra 2 and possibly geometry and things like that. Alright, let's look at another one. You don't have to graph them this year, that's for sure. Okay, next. Alright, what's different about this one? It's not equal to 0. But we can make it equal to 0 by bringing this term over, the 12 over. So you see my steps here. Bring all the terms to the left. Alright, 2x squared plus 5x. And then remember, if you're going to bring the 12 over to that side, it will now be minus 12. Okay. Alright, factor it. Is there a common factor? Always look. Is there a common factor? Not in this one. So let's just see if we can factor it. Let's see, we'd have 2x and x. Let's see, we can do 4 and 3. Let's see, 4 and 3, and let's try to put it, let's play around. Did I do this right? That'd be 8 and 3. Yay! Alright, we want the biggest one positive. Is that right? We'd have 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3. Yes. Okay. So that would give us the 5 in the middle. Alright, that would take a little playing on your part, but you can do it. Okay. Now, set it equal. Either 2x minus 3 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0. Alright, this one's easy. That's -4. Well, solve. 2x would have to equal 3. I'm bringing the 3 over. I'm solving for x. I need x by itself. Now divide by 2. X is 3/2. It's okay. You're going to get fractions in this. Trust me. Alright, recap. What'd you do? You had to solve this. You now brought the 3 over and then divided by 2. Alright, so your solution set, 3/2, -4. Okay. Do I have another one? Yes. Okay. First thing first I see here is they're not in the correct order. So let's change it in order by degree. So going down, I got the degree of 3, degree of 2, degree of 1, equal to 0. Now, common factor? Yes. We have a 2, not a 4, because 4 won't go into 18. But we can take out 2, but we can also take out a y. Okay, we haven't been having to do that, but we have a y in common. Alright, 2y times 9y squared, oops, I don't want a parentheses there, would give me 18y cubed. And then 2 times 12y would give me 24y squared. And then 2y times 4 would give you 8y. Alright, good. Now, you've got to still keep your 2y, but now see if this will factor. Alrighty. And you should see that this could go, well, it would probably take a while for you to play with it, but that would give me 9y squared. And if you did 2 and 2 here, you would have the same thing. Now, you may have noticed this ahead of time. You may have noticed that this is the sum of 2 squares. 9y squared and 4, the sum of 2 squares. So you may have seen that beforehand. So anyway, either 2y is equal to 0, and then y would be equal to 0, or 3y plus 2 equals 0. Now, I'm only doing it once because this is the same thing here and here. Same. I only need to do it once. 3y equals -2, bringing it over and solving for y and getting y by itself. Divide by 3, -2/3. So your answer is 0, -2/3. -2/3 could occur twice because you had 3y plus 2 twice. It's kind of called a double root, double zero. But you only need to list it once. Okay. You can watch this video more than once. You can pause it, take notes. Just be sure that you understand it, and then try your work. All right.